All right, good morning. We're going to go ahead and get started with today's webinar on what is a sick leave bank, how does it work, and why should I join? If at any point during the webinar you should have questions, there is a questions box located on your menu bar. You can send us those questions and we'll be happy to answer those in real time. Pam Flory is going to be your presenter today for this topic, and I will turn it over to her for the training.
Thank you, Jeremy, and thank you for everyone for taking time out of your busy day to attend this webinar. I will keep it brief because I realize that your time is limited and all of our time is very valuable. And if you have employees or coworkers that have missed this initial broadcast, it will be archived and available on our website to be viewed at any time, actually day or night. And I love technology. I love that Madison County is growing in technology. And actually, you could be listening to an archived version of it sitting on your sofa with your smartphone. In fact, I think I see one of our employees sitting in their jammies out there. So, all right, let's just move on to the Sick Leave Bank webinar. So what is the Sick Leave Bank? Let me give you a little bit of history. Prior to 2004, Madison County had no uniform policy for donating or receiving leave donations. It was occurring, but there was no, it was not being properly documented, and it probably wasn't even being fairly administered. So in 2004, we established a policy for the Sick Leave Bank to provide uniform procedures for leave donations for all departments. The Sick Leave Bank is a Madison County policy for sick leave donations for employees who either have personal or immediate family medical issues that are not covered under workers' compensation. And the policy is in your handbook. I'm not going to notate what page because we are constantly doing updates, but it's generally going to be in the back of your handbook. And I do want you and encourage you to look at the whole policy because there is quite an in-depth policy and exclusions such as workers' comp, so forth, that I'm not going to get into during this brief webinar. I was actually a part of the initial setup of the Sick Leave Bank, and I have been involved in the administration of the policy since its inception. So I have seen, and most of us in the personnel office have seen, where the Sick Leave Bank has been a true benefit to many employees, and we're very thankful for that. Sorry, let me catch up. I apologize. So, who is eligible and when can I join? Non-probationary full-time employees may join within 30 days after their completion of their 6-month probationary period. And if they do it at that time, then the benefit would be effective immediately. However, there's a lot going on in that first year, and a lot of the new employees forget to do that at that time. So any employee may join during open enrollment, which is in November, and then it would become effective January 1st. So how do eligible employees join? Well, you join by donating 8 hours of leave to the bank, and which really has essentially been a one-time donation since 2004. However, if reserve hours drop less than 1,000, an additional donation will be required. If an additional donation is required because of that balance, we will give all employees a written notification at that time, and employees would be allowed to withdraw from the Sick Leave Bank. So why should I join? Well, only members may apply for Sick Leave Bank benefits when experiencing a medical emergency and when the absence from duty is without available paid leave and the emergency is expected to be at least 2 weeks or more. Also, the benefit is, if approved, the recipient may receive up to 240 hours in a 12-month period, which might otherwise be unpaid leave for that employee. And with the employee's consent, the county may solicit donations for approved employees via our newsletter, the County Clip. So how do I apply for sick leave benefits? Well, we have a form, and all of our forms related to personnel are located on our website. So you will complete a sick leave recipient application and you will give it to your supervisor. Also, your physician must complete an FMLA medical certification. Now, the application portion goes to your supervisor, but the medical information comes directly to personnel for your protection and privacy. After the supervisor receives the application, then they will forward the signed application to personnel. Now, after we receive the application, the Sick Leave Bank Committee will review that. Now, the review committee consists of 5 members who are full-time, non-probationary employees. And the committee shall have the responsibility of reviewing all of the requests and verifying the validity of the request and whether or not to grant approval for these requests. And this is important, the review committee only meets the first Tuesday morning of each month. So it's great if you can get your application in 30 days in advance of the need. However, generally it's the emergency situation, so you're not going to have that benefit of doing that. But please make sure that you get the paperwork in at least by the first Monday of the month. If you miss that deadline, the bank will not consider your application until the following month. And so we do want to expedite those as quickly as possible. And one thing, it really goes without saying, we have a lot of personal and confidential information that comes through the personnel office, but I do want to say it, and we do say it, that all requests are held in strict confidence, not only within personnel, but within the review committee. Now, I do want to make this clear that all requests are not automatically approved. I've had people to say, I gave my 8 hours, and so I should be able to get what I need. And that is actually not the case. The committee will review the application and the situation using the following criteria. First of all, has the applicant been affected by a medical emergency of either themselves or an immediate family member? Has the employee depleted all of their own leave balances? Now that doesn't just mean sick leave, that means sick leave, annual leave, or some of those old buckets of leave time, comp time, holiday time. Any of those leave, those have to all be depleted before they're eligible to receive sick leave bank benefits. Will the emergency likely require an employee's absence for a prolonged period of time, resulting in substantial loss of income? And specifically, will it be at least a full pay period that they will miss? It's not just going to be a day here, a day there, but is it going to be likely more than a full pay period? Now you will notice that this item, how has the employee utilized previous leave benefits, I have highlighted. So let's go down just a little bunny trail for just a quick moment. If there's an applicant for the sick leave benefits with 10 years of service and they have a 0 leave balance, that could be a problem in being approved. If they have been really what we call around here, earn and burn. Get 8 hours, you use 8 hours. You don't make a lot of effort if you have a slight headache to push through it and come to work. And so you've depleted all your leave, and there's not been any really true catastrophic illness or accident that would have caused you to use it all. And you think about it, even a brand new employee in their first year, by the end of their first year, they're going to earn 96 hours annual leave and 96 hours of sick leave. That's 24 days of leave just in that first year. So it's really possible to save up and to bank a good amount of time fairly quickly if you're working for the county. So what is your culture of your department? Do you encourage employees, and I realize that I may be speaking to employees, supervisors, department heads, or elected officials, but what is the culture of your department? When a new employee comes in, do you encourage them to build time up for emergency? I have actually known and spoken to a new employee, a young gentleman years ago, and he said when he went in to this particular department, they encouraged him, start banking your time, start saving your time, because if you don't need it for an emergency, then if it's annual leave, you'll be paid for it when you leave. And if it's sick leave and you retire, then you have the possibility of converting it. So it's really a win-win situation. So what is your culture? Do you encourage your coworkers to save their time for emergencies? You know, someone told me one time that it isn't if there's going to be a medical emergency of either yourself or an immediate family member, but when there will be. And I'm certainly not sitting here trying to be doom and gloom, but I would like for our employees to be prepared with a cushion of leave. And so all of that is taken in consideration when the sick leave bank either approves or disapproves a leave application. And then, was the medical situation foreseeable? Did they know 6 months ago that they were going to have surgery on their foot, but yet they took 3 weeks of vacation, that they could have saved a good portion of that to go towards that time that they were going to be out? Did they know that this was going to happen? And then, are there any reasonable alternatives available to being, other than being absent, or any other unique circumstances, such as could they possibly come back on light duty? And I know everyone does not have light duty, nor are you required to have light duty, but is there something that they could do that would cause them not to miss as much work, or perhaps working a half a day initially, or even if they're having therapy, coming to work before or after that therapy. So is there anything that we can do to help them out where they can actually continue to work? There is also a provision within the policy for within department leave transfers. And with the approval of the department head or elected official, transfer of leave between employees within the same department may be requested. And these requests may be able to fall outside the sick leave bank guidelines. In other words, if it's within a department, then they may not have to be a member of the sick leave bank. And then lastly, terminating employees. We go through an out processing with all employees that are leaving the county. And if they're retiring and under Tier 1 with the retirement system, they may convert their sick leave, which is a great benefit and another reason to try to save that sick leave. But if they're just leaving to go on to other employment, they may donate all or any portion of their leave balances to the sick leave bank or to a specific approved recipient. And again, it is quite a large policy, so make sure that you review your handbook to see specific exclusions and or limitations. Well, thank you for participating today. We're going to stay connected for a little while. I'm not sure if we've had any questions coming in, but we will stay connected if this is a live edition for additional questions. And if this is an archive version that you're listening to sitting on your couch or in the truck while you're waiting on a water leak to be repaired, just give our office a call if you have any questions, and we'll be glad to assist you further. Y'all have a great day, and thank you so much for your time.